Hi, my name is Maureen. This is Flow and Restore Yoga. It's a combination class. The emphasis is on restorative yoga. We will do a little bit of vinyasa flow, a little warm up, then some vinyasa flow to kind of wake the body up, to kind of shake off any restlessness and release it so that you are able to better settle into and arrive into your body to really drop into these restorative poses and benefit from them. Now, with restorative yoga, you need lots of props. So I've got several here. If you have some of the things that you find in a studio, like a bolster, fantastic, you'll be using that. If not, you're going to use substitutes. Maybe you have an extra yoga mat. That's a good substitute, and we'll add to it by blankets and pillows. Maybe you have a roller. This is the short roller. It's helpful if you have the longer roller. Either way, we will adapt it and support it. Bed pillows or long body pillow, if you have it, bring that. If you have bed pillows and they're kind of thin like this, you might need 3 or 4. Towels are a good substitute for blankets. Try to find beach towels, the longer ones, and then you're folding them in half and folding them in half again, and then I tend to fold them in thirds. But you'll adapt, and you're always able to pause this video and get the things you need. Good to have several of those on hand. I also brought a smaller blanket. This is a quilted blanket. It has a lot more girth to it. It's my daughter's hand quilted blanket. So find the ones that work for you. Yoga blocks are extraordinarily helpful. They're lightweight, they're the right size. If you don't have those, then try full toilet paper roll, or this is a box of Kleenex. So they're lightweight, and you want them to be able to hold the props and hold your weight. So good idea to invest in blocks. You can get them at Five Below for $5, or get them delivered online. And an eye pillow. I almost always forget to mention this. These, again, you can find and buy, or you can make your own. Very lightweight and soft, and so nice at the throughout the restorative poses, but particularly during Shavasana. All right, let me just pull my blankets to the center, and let's take a few moments to center. Bring our attention inward. Take a comfortable seated position, and I encourage you to lift your hips up on these folded blankets, and then ankles touch the ground. Feel free to sit crisscross, trying to get these knees equal to hips or lower. You can place feet right in front of one another and lean weight down onto your knees, and just see how that feels. If it doesn't feel good, then come back to the crisscross. All right, let's just give ourselves a few moments to arrive to this land, to this room, to this mat, to this practice. To help you do that, I invite you to lower your gaze, to look down on a spot on the floor, or close your eyes. And just take in a nice big deep breath, an exaggerated breath in through the nose. And releasing that breath, either through parted lips and open mouth, or back out through the nose. Just doing it a couple of times to clear off and clear out whatever was present and whatever was happening and occupying space in your mind and in your body before this practice. Yoga helps us re-inhabit our body. So give yourself these moments to invite your attention, your awareness inward. One more breath cycle. When you finish that exhale, release that lengthening and deepening of the breath, and just return to the normal, easy flow of your breath. Bring your hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Press palms together, fingertips and thumbs, and rest your thumbs at your sternum. Take a moment and set an intention for this practice. A single word, a quality, a characteristic, an aspiration. Something you want more of within yourself, within your relationships, within the world. And a share quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, this Vietnamese Buddhist monk. He says, awareness is like the sun. When it shines on things, they are transformed. Let's cultivate our awareness. Let's light the fire. Let's give ourselves a chance to transform. Take a big deep breath in. And an even deeper breath out. Release your hands to your thighs. Take the hands off to the side, palms face forward. And let's wake the body up with a couple of sun breaths. Inhale. Arms out and up like you're stretching. Let it feel good. And then turn your palms away and exhale, slowly lower. Really tune into the fact that breath leads movement, that your arms match the length of the inhale and exhale. Repeating. Inhale, fill up your ribs. Lift your heart, lift your chin, lengthen through the spine, looking up. Exhale. Turn your palms away, slow it down. Last one. Inhale. Take your time. Maybe you pause at the top of the inhale, look up, lengthen, and exhale. Ground your energy. When you're done, let that go. Let's do some neck circles. Keeping your spine still, keeping your shoulders broad, and just inviting the neck and head to rotate slowly around just to where it feels good, not coming into pain. If there's tightness, then make the circles a little smaller. And slowing that down, and eventually bringing the crown of your head back over your spine. And now push down through sit bones. Draw your belly in. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Reach up, lengthen. And then exhale, side bend to the right. And just lean into this, just to where it feels good. Don't overdo it. And inhale, arms up overhead. Reach up nice and tall. Deep breath in. Exhale, side bend to the left. Soften through joints. Open up slowly. Inhale, arms up overhead. Reach up. Turn your palms away. And as they lower, invite them to meet behind your back at your sacrum. Interlace them. Pull the arms away from your back body, and then invite you to bow forward. And you don't have to worry about a straight spine. I just want you to come into a shoulder opening and a forward bend. Feel free to round the spine and bow the head, and keep lifting the arms up as high as you can. Keep breathing. And then release, slowly lowering arms back down to your low back, releasing them. Let's twist. Inhale, arms up overhead. Nice long spine, pull your belly to the spine. Twisting to the right, arms descend. Find places for your hands to touch. To inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. And exhale, twist to the right. Keep pulling your belly in toward the spine. Keep lifting your heart up. And just twisting as far as feels good. Keep breathing as you hold the body. And then release. Rise back up nice and tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Arms descend. Take time to press down through sit bone. Rise up through your spine. Pull the belly to the spine and twist a little deeper on the exhale. Staying here. Use your fingers, your hands as leverage, your arms. Keep lifting up through the heart. Lift up through your lower back. And then exhale, release, unwind, and let's vinyasa. Rise to standing, removing props. And coming to the front of your mat with blocks or with your substitute. Let's use the substitute. All right, let's find Tadasana. Your feet are inner hips width distance apart. Feel free to have a little bit of movement, rolling onto the balls of the feet and onto the heels. Doing a little twist. Any movement that just helps you to warm up and relax before we begin. Stand in mountain pose. Connect your feet to the earth. Legs as strong as the trunk of a tree. Draw your belly in. Point your tailbone down. Roll shoulders up to ears. Roll shoulder blades down your back. Palms face forward. Breathing in, I am as strong as the mountain. Breathing out, nothing shall move me. Inhale, arms out wide and up high. Reach up, look up, Urdhva Stasana. And exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive your arms out wide as you bow forward. Add a little bend to the knees if hamstrings are still tight. Then inhale halfway up for Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Everything lengthens, legs, arms, and back. Pull shoulder blades together on your back, pull belly to spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Hands can be on blocks or frame that front feet as you step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, lift your gaze, open up these hips. And then back knee lowers, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Just check in, where do you want to lift up to? Maybe your gaze lifts up, maybe you keep gaze parallel to the ground. Let's add a twist. As the right hand lowers down to the ground, sits on top of a block, but up near the front, the big toe, or on the ground. As you twist towards the front left knee, left hand to left hip, lift the hand up once you've completed the twist, and add a few wrist circles. Looking up if that's all right with your neck. And then releasing, unwinding from the twist, and removing blocks as you lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. First down dog of the day, perhaps warm it up. Work your legs, bending the knees one at a time or both of them. Sway hips and check in with head and neck. The goal here is to have a long spine and eventually lengthen out through legs as your body warms up. Inhale, shift forward to plank and squeeze everything. Strong legs, strong glutes, active core. Press your shoulders away from the mat and try to keep your head lifted. Core, pull the belly to the spine. And then you choose, knees touch the ground, or you come down in full plank. Exhale down. Tops of the feet touch the ground. Firm up your legs and inhale, lift your heart up. You feel like you're lifting your heart up through the gateway of the shoulders. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Point elbows back and exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Inhale the table. Exhale, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Find your position and find stillness. Breathe deeply. Oscillate between intensity and rest. See if you can slow your heart rate down while you deepen in the pose as you lift your hips up and push the weight of your hips back. On an inhale, right leg rises long behind you. Three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee. Bring it to your ribs and step it forward. Lower the hips. Lift the gaze. And let's add in our Anjaneyasana as the back knee lowers and the spine lifts. Perhaps your gaze lifts and open up your heart. Exhale, let's come down. Left hand touches the block or your support, or touches the ground right up near your big toe to help you lengthen through the spine. Twisting to the right, put your right hand on your hip and really pull the ribs, left ribs down to the ground. And then lift the right arm up, maybe add some wrist circles. Your gaze might look up towards this hand, or you might keep it level with your heart. What feels good for you. And then release your twist. Back knee lifts off. Rise up, come forward into your forward fold. Pull your belly to the spine and inhale, arms out wide and up high. Making the full circle. Look up, Urdhva Sthasana, hands touch. Exhale, hands to your heart and release hands to your side. Inhale, arms up high. Look up. Exhale, bow. Point the crown of the head down, lift the hips up, and then inhale, lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Pull your belly in, pull shoulder blades together down your back and reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, forward fold, and step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. Hips lower, heart lifts. And now we're gonna move between this lunge and pyramid. So we're gonna lengthen the front leg as much as you can. Try to keep your spine long and your shoulders square. And then exhale back down to lunge. We'll do that 3 times. Lengthen, front leg. Try to lengthen through the spine and square the shoulders. Exhale, lunge. It's just the leg that's changing here. Push that front leg long. Feel that in your front hamstring. And exhale, lower. We're going to add to this. Rely on the strength of your legs. As you rise up to Alanasana, arms come up overhead. Exhale to goddess pose. Pull your belly into the spine. Keep your spine long as we do half forward fold. Make a line of energy from the back heel up the spine, up through the crown of the head. Inhale, back up, arms lift. Exhale, hands frame the front foot and step back, downward facing dog. And breathe, holding this pose. Slowing that heart rate and taking in the benefits of the inversion with your head below your heart. Inhale, shift forward to plank and squeeze. Activate all your muscles. Rely on all of the muscles to hold you here and build strength here. You decide if knees touch the ground for half plank or full plank. Exhale as you lower. Firm up the lower half of your body for a foundation and inhale, either baby cobra or full cobra. Lift your chin if that's okay. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. And we meet in downward facing dog. And breathe. Taking a nice big deep breaths. Slow the heart rate. Challenge yourself and then rest your body. Let the breath help you. On an inhale, your left leg rises. Oops, I think, Left leg rises long behind you. Bend the knee, pull it to your ribs, and step it forward. Straight leg lunge. And lower your hips. Be light on fingertips. All right, bring those fingertips back down to the ground or on your blocks or your substitute. We're going to straighten the legs and move between pyramid and lunge. So straighten the front leg. Try to have a sense of the rectangle at the back. So square hips, square shoulders. Exhale, lunge. Feel that in your legs and in your hips. Inhale, pyramid. Try to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, pyramid. Exhale, lunge. Let it go. And press off back foot to join front foot. Oh, never mind. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Point the crown of the head down. And then inhale. Arms out wide and up high, Urdhva. Hands touch. Exhale to your heart. And release. One more. Inhale, arms out wide and up high. Look up. Exhale, bow. Into your forward fold, begin to add length to your legs. Point the crown of the head down. Inhale, rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Pull your belly in. Pull shoulder blades together down your back and reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, back to your forward fold. Step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips. And now spin the back right foot. And prepare to rise up into warrior two. So rely on the strength of your legs. Open out to the long edge of your mat. And windmill your arms open. Try to keep arms at the same height. Try to check in that knee is not forward of your ankle. Find yourself in warrior two. Turn the front palm up and revolve the warrior. Looking up, really feeling this is a left body side opener. And exhale, back into warrior two. Pivot on the ball of the back foot. Right hand meets left hand. Hands frame the front foot and you step back downward facing dog. Take your position and find stillness and breathe deeply here. Coming a little deeper, you can pull your ribs towards your thighs. You can begin to lower heels down towards the ground. On an inhale, shift forward into plank and activate all your muscles. Pull everything to the midline and keep breathing. And then exhale, lower, and inhale, sweep right up into your back bend. Lift up, look up. Exhale, lower, and we meet in downward facing dog, and you slow it down and you breathe. Still keep deepening your pose, pressing your hips up and pressing the weight of the hips back. Pressing into index finger and thumb. On an inhale, right leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bring it forward, step it forward, find straight leg lunge, and then we're going to pivot the ball of the back foot, rely on the legs and rise up, open up, and look forward. Sink a little deeper, warrior two. Turn the front palm up, revolved warrior. Your gaze follows your front arm, and you rely on the legs rather than your hand touching your back leg. And exhale back, warrior two. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Exhale, hands down to frame the front foot. And press off back foot to join front foot in your forward fold. Pausing here, taking an extra breath or two as you point the crown of the head down and lift up through the hips and lengthen through the hamstrings. And then pull your belly to the spine. As you reverse swan dive, arms out wide, up high, look up, hands touch. Exhale to your heart and complete the circle. Release hands down to your sides. For a transition towards our restorative, we're going to do a wide-legged fold and lunge. So step wide. Whatever distance you prefer, it doesn't have to be your widest, but feet point forward. Hinge at the hip crease, not at the waist. Take a breath in. Exhale, bow. And then when your spine is parallel with the ground, let your hands come underneath shoulders. If your hands don't reach comfortably, you could bring the support, the block, or the substitute. And then allow the elbows to bend and for you to come forward even deeper. Bow the head and just come into a full forward fold, Prasarda Padottanasana. And then begin to lift up so that your spine is again parallel with the ground. We're going to lunge to the right and just bending that knee, taking a little length of this inner groin, just seeing how it feels to sink into that. Come back to center. Slowly lunging to the left, taking to where it feels okay for you. Coming back to center. And then we're going to heel toe with our hands on the ground, heel toe feet. Underneath the hips, point the crown of the head down, and then come into, to bring your sit bones down to the ground. Let's warm up the hips. We'll eventually do a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So let's just give our hips a moment now in the seated pose with your soles of your feet touching, making a diamond with your legs, hands on your ankles or at your hips. And reach up nice and tall through the spine. You could move these knees in, up and down like butterfly. And then choose the position that's right for you as you bow forward. And just coming into this hip opening. It doesn't have to be your deepest. Remember, now we're warming down, preparing to move into Shavasana. And it's just begun to rain outside. It's so nice. And inhale, lift, come onto your back. And have those supports nearby because we're going to do a Supta Baddha Konasana. So if you, if you want, you might have blocks underneath your thighs. So lie down. We're still just transitioning. Bring the soles of your feet together and let knees flop out. And you might just be fine having this hip opening, like so. If you get there and you think, whew, need a little support, then these blocks or substitute can hold the weight of your legs. You have to experiment and find the right place. If you have blocks, you might put them at higher heights or lower heights. If you're using substitute, then you just have to mix and match until you have a sense of support. And I just want you to take in nice deep breaths. Let's slow the heart rate down. You can tune into your body after this vinyasa movement, after we've lifted everything up, mixed it all up, shook it all up. And just have a sense of it all settling now. And then place your hands on the outsides of your thighs and bring your knees to point up to the ceiling. And we'll move into our first restorative pose, which is crocodile pose. No props needed. You lay on your belly. So come on to forearms and allow your weight all the way down. Before you rest your head though, the crocodile pose is a hip opener. So you lean to one leg and you come to the inside of one knee and one foot. And then you lean to the weight to the other side so you can come onto the inside knee and foot of both legs and feet. And there you see you've positioned the hips and the feet to splay open. And you stack your hands and you're going to figure out what works for you and for your neck. If stacked hands are not enough, you can make stacked fists. You want to find a position of comfort for your neck. In restorative, you meet your body where it's at and you support it at where it feels good. You're not trying now to go deeper into a pose. You're trying to find just the right support that works for you. That might be a rolled towel. And this is a great pose to begin with because it really helps you to draw your attention inward. Restorative poses we hold for, several minutes. You could hold up to 20. A restorative class could be 3 restorative poses and you could hold each pose for 20 minutes. But one of the goals that you're cultivating here is accumulating quiet. So let this pose face down as you're settling, as your breath is slowing. You might even tune into your breath as your abdomen expands against the mat. Your chest expands against the mat with inhales and then draws back towards your spine on the exhale. So you can tune into breathing with facing down and your eyes closed. That can help to draw your attention inward. And opening the hips is always of benefit. Most of us store our tension there, most humans. And sitting in chairs and studying and sitting in front of computers adds to that habitual hip flexion. It's like constantly your hips are flexed. And our bodies are not meant to be seated or motionless. Our bodies are designed to be in motion. But here in restorative yoga, we're giving it all a break. One more breath in this pose. Take it in. Let your belly expand against the mat. Let your ribs expand out left and right. And then as you exhale, just really feel that all draw back inward to your center. To come out of it, you're going to slowly release these hips by leaning to one side and bringing the hips back into alignment. And then tuck your toes and trust your hands to help you lift up your torso. Because the next pose is supported child's pose. So if you have that bolster, then, and you've already done this, then you might just go right into it. You walk the knees up as high as the bolster can come up between your thighs and you lay your torso down. You want the whole spine from the pubic bone through to the top of the head supported. If you don't have that, let's just say you have an extra yoga mat, then you're going to have that as your basis and you're going to put your pillows and you might even need an extra towel. You might find that your neck is tight, so you need more support up top. You're just going to arrange and rearrange and try to find the best level of support. So you see that I've got my legs in a V. You're opening up your legs. You're walking up till your legs can't go any further. And then you're laying your torso down and turn your head one way and your arms frame this support and you rest. And if your hips are not touching your heels, then you'll want to use one of your supports as a padding between hips and heels to to give you that chance to rest your hips, because letting the weight of your hips sit on your heels gives the low back an opening. And just breathe easy here. We'll hold, and I'll invite you to turn your head about halfway through. Sink into this pose. This is one of the favorites. You might have your own favorite. Everybody's different. Really trusting that you can let go. It takes a while for us to settle and to truly surrender to these poses and to this stillness. So we do that movement to help us get there a little quicker, to shake it off, lift our heart rate, and then give permission to your body to slow down and relax. You might turn your head now to the other side. You don't have to. All of these are suggestions, and you are the person in charge, designing the props and picking the most comfortable position for you. In restorative yoga, you just keep adjusting until it works for you. One more breath in this pose, absorbing it, taking it in. Of course, you can stay longer, and you can join us when you're ready for the next pose. But if you're going to follow along, then you're going to let your hands press into the mat to help you lift your torso. Walk your legs away from the support, but keep everything just as it is for supported reclined twist. Today, I'm going to offer that Z pose. So a little space between your knees, and I've got my left hip facing and flush with my support. And the left sole of the foot is touching the right thigh. I turn towards my support with either hand framing it. I really press down to lift up and lengthen through the spine. And then I try to lay the front of the body down and turn my head towards the bent knees. Check in with this pose. This might be just right. And if you're looking for a little bit more, then you might lift up and turn your head away from the bent knees. But if you're coming into strain or effort, then you want to take it back a notch. And if the first pose was not right or tight, then scoot your hips, give your hips a little distance, and give yourself a little less of a twist. And breathe into it. If you have blocks, you could prop one underneath there, and that will make the opening of the twist a little less intense. Breathe into this. We'll do a little bit shorter on the twist since we do both sides. Settling into this, really acknowledging it's so healthy for our spine to twist. It aids in digestion, aids in elimination, aids in your mobility of this midsection of your spine, and this thoracic part of our spine is the least mobile. The low lumbar and the cervical spine are the most mobile. So we're just giving this a little extra help. Then we'll prepare to now transition to the other side. In yoga, in restorative yoga, you move so as not to disturb yourself. So just very quietly pressing your body up and swivel the hips so that you have the other side hip flush with the base of your support. Your legs are in a Z pose. You twist, arms frame the support, and lift up and lengthen and lay the body down. Each side is different. So if it doesn't, if it doesn't feel good, then give yourself more space. Give a little space between the supports. And if you find that you want a little support, you add one of your rolled towels, or and if you have a lot of flexibility, then you might turn away from the bent knees. And breathe. And trust. And let your weight be held. adjusting even within the pose. If, after 1 minute you have had enough, then you can come out of it and undo the twist a bit and just lie on your side, right? Your body might take in what it needs in a shorter period of time. One more breath in this supported reclined twist. Really enjoy this breath, enjoy being in your body, enjoy this opening in your spine. When you finish that exhale, you're going to press into the hands into the mat and just slowly lift your body up and untwist. Keep this support just as it is, but you will need one of your towels for your feet. We're going to come into that supported Supta Baddha Konasana. That's a B, Supta Baddha Konasana. It's a towel folded in half and then folded in half longwise again and then rolled up. And that's just going to be like a little snake blanket for your feet to hold your feet together. So you got to check in with this. This might feel a little wobbly, so you might be putting something to secure. I have a rolled mat. I have the rolled mat underneath, and we want our body to feel secure. And I'm putting these supports up the top near the yoga mat because that gives a little ramp. Okay, so that's one idea. If you had some other things, these would work just as well. Would lift it up just a little bit higher. All right, and so bring your body to the base of your support. Bring your sacrum. And then let the soles of the feet touch as you wrap this snake blanket around and tuck it underneath behind the backs of your calves. Make sure these soles of the feet are touching. Sometimes I find people are still sitting with soles of the feet touching the ground. We want this to be a nice supported hip opening. So soles of the feet touch. Then the knees splay out as you check in where your support is and your hands guide your back. Now I have this extra blanket. It's underneath my neck, and that's just right for me. If you don't need it, you don't need it. I want this support right here to be easy for you. If that's too much, then you might lift your tailbone and give it a less of an angle. Just move around, mix around, experiment. When you've hit the sweet spot, you'll know it. Let the arms be heavy and resting on the ground. About 10 inches away from the body, palms face up to encourage this external rotation of the shoulders. If for any reason this doesn't feel comfortable, then you might try putting a blanket there underneath to soften or hold the arms a little bit better. You don't want these arms hanging. You want everything supported. If this feels too much for your legs, you could put these supports. Your substitute, Kleenex box or a full toilet paper rolls underneath. And with your whole front body so wide open, invite the breath to come into the low abdomen while you're here. With every breath, with every exhale, you're cleansing the body, you're releasing toxins. And then with every inhale, you're nourishing the body. You're nourishing every cell with fresh oxygen. And you don't have to do anything. Your body does this for you. Let your body be heavy. Let your body be held by these props. And this gentle encouragement to open. When you hold these poses, your breath rate, your heart rate naturally slows down. And when the breath is at this slow pace, it sends a message to the brain that all is well and that you can stand down and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we're meant to be most of the time. We're not meant to be in that fight or flight. One more minute, one more breath in this pose. When you come out of the pose, you remove any props that were alongside your leg. Your hands touch the outside of the thighs and bring the knees to point up to the ceiling. Free your feet of the snake blanket and roll to one side. And now I'm asking you to remove these supports, the pillows and the bolster substitute, and bring this snake blanket, this rolled up snake blanket, vertical on your mat. And it's important that this is as long as your spine. So if you had a small towel and, for instance, if your towel was the length of this, that's not long enough. So you're going to need 2 towels. And you would roll up the second one. The important thing about this is that your spine from tailbone through to the top of the head is supported. This is cannoli. It's a passive chest opener. You'll place your tailbone right at the bottom. You got to get it to the bottom. Who knows, how tall everybody is. And if this is not right, then we'll get up and adjust it. You come onto elbows to help guide your spine down. And you'll check that the head and neck is supported so it's a flat. I'm not lifting up my head. I'm not using a pillow. The neck is at the same height as the spine, is at the same height as the tailbone. You can take your feet wide as the mat and let the knees fall in toward one another. Arms are traditionally 10 to 12 inches away from the body, palms facing up. Or for a little bit more opening, you could extend the legs long and let the feet flop open. And that kind of opens up the hip flexors, opens up the abdomen. But you should notice that rolled blanket is a support all the way up the spine. And so really feel your shoulders cascading off of either side of the blanket. Let the arms be heavy. Feel the ribs. They're opened up more than usual. They should be parting slightly. Your hips, let them be heavy and just melt off either side of the blanket. Same with your legs. Just give in to this pose. The emphasis is on opening the chest because most of us are curling forward without conscious thought. Our shoulders are rolling forward. Our top of our spine is rounding forward and our head is falling forward. So we're inviting everything with the help of gravity to open. Reverse that forward fold, that forward curl, I guess. Yoga helps us understand our body, and restorative yoga helps us encourage our body to relax. One more breath in this pose. Take your time, finish that exhale. And if your knees are not already bent, then bend your knees and roll to one side. You stay lying on the ground. We're transitioning now into Shavasana. So you just remove that rolled up blanket. If you want, you could put it underneath your knees. When you put a rolled blanket underneath knees, it just helps take a little pressure off your low back. But you make your Shavasana as comfortable as possible. The point of Shavasana is to let go, to release all effort. So let the heels walk to opposite corners of the mat, feet flop open. Let your arms be at your sides with palms facing up. And you're coming into the last pose of the yoga practice, placing a great deal of priority on this pose to let go of control, to let the world spin without you for a while, to trust that the earth is always beneath you. To rest in your own presence. Remain right where you are, but just awaken your sense of hearing to the sound of this bell. And then I invite you to deepen your breath and awaken all your senses, bringing small movement to fingers and toes, bending wrists and rolling ankles, turning your head one way, and slowly turning it the other. And when you're ready, allowing your body to move in whatever way feels good. That might mean a full body extension, a big full stretch, or it might mean pulling your knees to your chest and rocking back and forth. Take your time, and then eventually, with knees bent and soles of the feet on the floor, roll to one side. Again, you could pause here, with your knees bent and an elbow supporting your head. And just tune in, check in, how you feel. Put an anchor here. You created this sense of peace, this restfulness within. And you can return to it on your own. Eventually, you'll press off with your hand and your elbow and come up to a seated position. Take your time to do that. Really have a sense of your energy settling as you come to Sukhasana, cross-legged pose. Let your hands meet at your center, at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Bow your head to your heart. Call to mind your intention. And take the intention off the mat with you. Take it into your life. Repeat your intention at the beginning of the day as many times throughout the day as you can remember, so that you cultivate and you move in the way of your own choosing. And I repeat the quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. He said, "Awareness is like the sun. When it shines on things, they are transformed." Practice focusing your awareness. Take a big deep breath in. And an even deeper, longer, slower, smoother breath out. And then let's all share in this Sanskrit word, this greeting, this single word, namaste, recognizing, saluting, honoring the light that we share. Namaste.